Okay, well, this past week we had a celebration. Well, we had one here also. But Valentine's Day, most of us experienced Valentine's Day and we got gifts. And I think it's a wonderful thing to celebrate the ones we love. You know, we take a little extra time, a little thought, and we do something special for them. And sometimes we forget about those things. So anyway, as I was getting my service together, I thought, interesting about Valentine's. I really don't know much about it. So I kind of looked it up to see where it originated. And I'd like to share what I found. It's more legend than actual history. But the basic or the prevalent belief is that St. Valentine was a priest during the, I believe it was 3rd century in Rome. And it was during the time of Claudius II, it says. And he declared that soldiers could not be married because he felt they made bad soldiers, okay? He thought that they worried about their families and their children, so they wouldn't take risks, to protect anything. Anyway, St. Valentine's thought that wasn't right. He wasn't fair, that the soldiers couldn't be married. So, of course, he went against the law, and he would perform secret weddings for the soldiers. And sure enough, what happens? He gets caught. And when he does, he's sentenced to death. And the story goes, while he's in jail, because it doesn't happen right away. They're sentenced to death, and they're in the holding cell. It could be years even before they're finally executed. So during that time, the jailer's daughter worked there, and he became infatuated with her and actually fell in love with her. So on the day of his execution, it said that he wrote her a love letter. He professed his love to her. And at the end, he signed it, "Your Valentine." And this is why we receive expressions of love on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting, little factoid, since this is February, the month of love. Okay, so since we're talking about love, it's kind of something that's hard to define. It's feeling, it's emotion, it's energy. So I thought maybe we'd start with reading something that Jesus talked about on love. And this is, what he was talking about was marriage. And it's in chapter 98 and verses 7 through 10. So he's talking to the disciples to tell them, he's questioning it. He wants them to think about what love is, And he says, "Is love a passion that is subject to the will of man? Can man pick up his love as he would pick up precious gems and lay it down or give it out to anyone? Can love be bought and sold like sheep? Love is the power of God that binds two souls and makes them one. There is no power on earth that can dissolve this bond." So I thought maybe we'd kind of look at these couple verses and really get in depth in them a little. So the first verse in 7, it says, is love's passion subject to man? So passion is an emotion, a feeling we have. And we know that love is an energy that comes down from God. Love is so much more than passion. It's infused with that God energy. Man cannot wield that. It's something that we channel to an extent. We don't control it. And next, can man pick up love as he would pick up a gem? Now, Jesus, he used gems because at that time they were very precious. They were rare. And that's what love is. Love is rare. We don't experience a couple love, okay? Because he's talking about partner love. There's lots of different loves. And we have our friends and everything else. But This is about couples, that intimate relationship. And it is a rare thing to find that bond. So he's asking, would you just, give it to somebody walking down the street? No, because love is part of us. It's our soul. And we're not willing to just hand that out to anybody. It's precious. It's divine. Love is something that fills us. It goes beyond description. And then he says, can love be bought or sold? Like a commodity. He uses the sheep, for example, because they could all relate to that. But how can we put a price on something so precious? How can we purchase something that is divine? We're unable to. We can't purchase God. There's no way we can purchase love. If you have love, it's special, it's unique, it's expanded. Love is the power of God that binds two souls and makes them one. There is no power on earth that can dissolve this bond. Now, I think that's quite interesting. And the reason is, what came to mind is most of us think, you know what? No way do I love that person. I can choose who I'm going to love. Some people can. They think that. They think we can choose who we love and who we don't. And our logical mind says yes. We could be in a relationship that doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So we say, well, I used to love him, but not anymore. Love doesn't really work that way. Because if love is present in the relationship, just like Jesus said, it's a tie that came through God. It's an energy that comes into us that we share and express with the ones that we are partnered with. So, we may think we no longer love somebody, but the love can still be there. We may think of them from time to time, wonder how they're doing, but there's no connection. Or we may never think of them again once the relationship has ended, and we go on. But if there is a true tie through God, through time and space, you're always connected. You may see them when you cross over. You may see them in another lifetime. There may be things that you work out. Who knows? But it's not our choice. The tie cannot be released. So that's an interesting thing to think about. Okay, so let's talk about our first love. When we come into this world and we're just little children, our parents are all over us and kissing. And if you see Cindy with any kids, you know exactly what I mean, too. But most of the time, as children, our family love is limited to our parents and close relatives. And, the neat thing is that we don't have to do anything, We're just there, and they're loving us, and you can feel it. As children, we're very susceptible and open to energy. We can feel the vibration of our caretakers, and that energy just moves through us, We're like, oh, how sweet. And this type of love is a great foundation. It helps us understand unconditional love. It took nothing for us, no investment of our energy. We didn't have to be special. We didn't have to have a halo floating above our head. We're loved simply because we are part of the family. They gather around us, and, we're just there being our unique expression of God. And the love just flows to us. And when we receive it, it's strong, it's palatable, there's warmth in it, it's comforting. It's like being wrapped in a swaddling cloth. We feel safe and secure, and it's something that we receive pleasure from. We find that it's very pleasurable. It supports us in ways that we may not still understand. And that's the easy lesson, because that's the lesson of unconditional love, something that we learn, the first love. Then, one day, we really, we've grown just a little bit, maybe toddler stage, and we're having a day that's very interesting. And we need to feel that unconditional love that only our family gives us. So we come running and we're ready and we're open to receive. But then, wait a minute. What's going on? What happened? Where's the love? I've been getting it. I'm doing the same thing I've always done. I'm expressing my unique individuality. Come on. Well, what do you mean you won't give me love because I'm having a temper tantrum? Why not? I haven't changed. I've come to you the same way I always have. Can't you hear me expressing through the noise that I am making? Oh, what? What do you mean? You won't give me love until I do what you demand? This isn't right. This isn't fair at all. Well, who changed the rules? I'm supposed to be able to get it whenever I want. You do this. Oh my gosh. We're in total and utter shock. What just happened? We had an opportunity to learn a new lesson. We learn a lesson of conditional love. There are times that we can't have the love that we want because there are conditions. And that is a big one. That is one that we deal with throughout our lifetime with different people, with different situations. But we can't go back to that time that it was always free. We grow in our understanding of love now. We realize that there's different dynamics. And I think maybe that's why we have family, because they're so willing to help teach us. So, as we continue to grow and mature, we start to experience friendship love. We become connected with our classmates, maybe some children down the street. Sometimes even, your cousins can become really bonded to you. And you experience something that you weren't getting from your parents or the older family. You learn how to talk with each other and share secrets, things that you wouldn't tell your family. You open up and listen to their confidential secrets, and you become trustworthy and learn how to communicate your feelings and your emotions with them, as well as they communicate theirs with you. You build a safe relationship. Now, at times, it goes awry, and we learn from that too. All of these experiences with love in our childhood take us through life. They help us grow and understand who we are and how we receive. They help prepare us for life here on earth. Okay? And after we've learned most of these lessons, we continue to grow, and we have heartbreak at times, and we have elation, and it's a roller coaster, we know, when we go through teens. But eventually, at some point, we become mature enough to have a partnership relationship. And all our past experiences that we've had has now created a foundation that we can build upon. And we do this, one step at a time. And the only thing closer than a partnership love is God love moving through us. And when we feel that love, feel God's love in a partnership, it becomes expanded. That love actually comes in through your crown and moves into your heart. And then it takes on an energy and starts to expand. And you're feeling the love for your partner. And as you do, now you're channeling that God love from you, that partnered love, that expanded consciousness now strikes your partner so that they can understand and feel what you do. It's very intimate. It's very personal and very precious. And we can see this happen, especially with young couples, okay? It's a transformational love that takes place. You may have heard the expression, the bride is glowing. That's that God love moving through her and lighting her up. It's physical transformation of God energy within us. And we can bring that into our partnerships and expand it. When two people come together, they have a set foundation that they start building now, that relationship. And as they learn and have different experiences, they add bricks around the foundation, building and building. And they learn to work together and come together and share in that love, that energetic love that moves through them. They get to experience a oneness now. And now is when we really start to work, because we have to consider our partner. We have to think about how they would feel about situations, about decisions. And at the same time, we have to honor our unique decisions and expressions. So a relationship is learning each other and not interfering, but yet coming together as one and moving through life. So to do this, we have to stay connected, to become one. And we do that with little gestures, holding hands, telling each other you love you, I love you, honey. And maybe little love notes, who knows? We all express love differently. It could be just a simple glance across the room, Nobody else notices except your partner. They know. They can feel that love. It's directed. And love flows like any other energy, okay? And we know energy flows in a circle. So what we put out is what's going to come back. So if we are not loving openly and freely, meaning unconditionally, how can we receive love unconditionally? So be aware of how you are expressing your love. Is it with conditions? I know I have had that issue in the past, and we don't realize it, because, I've gone along and said, I don't know if he loves me, because if he did, he would spend more time with me. I'm sure of it. If he truly loved me, why doesn't he call me? Or, it's my birthday. If he loves me, he's going to get me something really nice. These are all conditions This is conditional love. And we can think about these things and not even realize that's what we're putting out. It's being aware of what you want to receive so that you put out the right energy, the right message, so that you get that unconditional love that will just expand you and grow the relationship to where you want it. And Cindy earlier, I want to talk about a poem because it involved love. She told us earlier that that we had our poetry night, and my husband Jim wrote a poem, and it was a silly little poem, and it was about how he got all his gifts for Valentine's Day, and so he was covered. But yeah, so he was covered. But the last sentence is what moved me. So I'd like to read it, okay? Valentine's Day has gone with all the notoriety and fanfare. I bought some flowers and candy for my wife and surprised her with the pair. 100 Peruvian lilies, it said on the site. Grown in America, more likely, right? The candy is great, and she loves it so. Chocolates in the shape of diamonds. What do you know? Valentine's Day, great for gifts giving. Valentine's Day is great for giving gifts like these. But remembering to say, I love you every day is the true way to please. So, it's original, and I had not heard it until the other night during Poetry and Scones. And, like Cindy said, we had a blast, and we got to learn some things about people that we had no idea. You guys should join. Anyway, what this poem did was show me, it told me that he understood the value of Valentine's Day. He understood it was important to give a gift and acknowledge it, but that gift was just a brick. It's the mortar that holds together the relationship. It's the little things that we do day in and day out that keep us connected. It's things like when he brings me coffee in the morning. He'll fix a cup and bring it in. And it's just sweet as heck, And then me in return, I'll fix a meal for him. And I do it with love. And when we take the time to do things like this, chores and the mundane things that happen around our houses, they become joy-filled. They become love-motivated. The energy will change in the household. It's surprising. You have to try it. It also changes our perspective on life. And I want to give you an example here of perspective. When my husband and I first got together, we are a blended family. And there are 7 kids. So you can imagine in the beginning, it was utter chaos. And I can tell you that it would have been way easier to walk away than to try and work it out, because everybody had their own idea of what they were going to do, when they were going to do it, where they were going. Utter Well, I can tell you we blew up several times about the kids, talking what to do, and it was causing angst in our relationship. And it got heated. And finally, one night, we came together and we decided that our love was worth more than anything else. It was the most important thing. And if that was true and we could hold that love, we knew we could get through anything. Somehow it was going to work out one way or another. And now that's just changing our perspective, okay? Nothing changed. We were still living in this tiny, tiny, if you could call it a 2-bedroom house, okay? The kids were still running around doing their thing, but we were staying calmer. We were staying in love, and that love started to go out into the household, and we saw changes. Life started to flow easier. It settled down. We could actually sit and have a meal and talk. Conversations started to occur. And we played games after dinner, board games, cards. And what this allowed was for all of us to come together in a loving relationship, a family relationship. Now, sure, in the beginning, we could have said, you know what? Too much chaos. This is not going to work. And we could have walked away. It didn't mean that we didn't choose to love each other, because that love would have still been there. But the relationship wouldn't have. We stuck at it. We invested our energy, our love. And when you do that, God's moving through you. And we experience a synergy, an expansion. And that expansion was overflowing into our life. I also realized that when we invest our time, our energy into our partners, no matter who they are, what they are, that is going to increase and come back to us with that like energy in one way or another. I was receiving because I was giving freely. And that's what we all are capable of. We all can receive at an increased level. So, if you're not receiving what you want, think about investing your energy lovingly, freely, in where you want to see it coming back. Take another look at it. Send your love out to it, and be open to receive. Ready to go within? Just close your eyes, take a breath, and I want you to feel God's love moving into your crown chakra. And just let that love flow into you. And as it does, I want you to follow it. Follow it down into your heart. And as you do, just feel your heart open up. Feel your love and God's love supporting you. And I want you to think about an area in your life, an area that you would like to see increased with love, increased with God's energy. And now just picture that area. See it becoming greater, expanded. Feel yourself being totally supported in this change. Know that God is your partner and has your back. And as you give freely, so shall you receive. And in this vision, I want you to see a sphere of energy, an energy of God's love there. And just hold your hands out as the sphere moves into your hands. And know that this is your connection of lifting up to God whenever you want. This is your partner. You can always count on. And just let that sphere of energy be absorbed into your hands. and feel it moving up your arms and into your heart. Experience a synergy, your energy and God's. And give thanks for the blessings you are about to receive. Take a breath. Slowly move back up and open your eyes. Go out, start manifesting and receiving the way you want with love.